Welcome back to the Blitz and the Krieg. Into the Breach, Blitzkrieg, on Unfair, the final chapter. We can see my mechs and my pilots on screen. We've got a heavily upgraded Lightning mech with Morgan Lejeune, Conservative, and the Pull tank. We've got Rebounding Volley on the Boulder mech with the damage upgrade. And the Hook mech with Kazakh Pleth and a heavily upgraded Phase cannon. So we're on to the final mission. 4 corporate islands are completed. Our final score is 38,780. And all we have between us and sweet victory is the volcanic island. The volcanic hive. The last stand. I'm feeling pretty decent about my chances here. We've got ability to shield the grid. We've got conservative tanks. This will be the first time I get to showcase the power of the action advantage, multiplier that is the deployable tanks. The pull tank is decent. I wouldn't say it's maybe the best of them, but the fact that it can fly is really cool. It buys you some really interesting options, especially here on this final mission where we got like the lava tiles and other things like that. This isn't a terrible map seed, but with the Firefly leader, we've got problems. Because it's going to be targeting, 2 grid tiles at a time. So the enemy goes in for that nasty kill. The only 2 reprieves we have is the Scarab leader attacking the Lightning mech and the Scorpion attacking the Boulder mech. Now, this restricts the Boulder mech's movement if we can't free them, but they will be safe from retaliation because the lava will destroy that Scorpion. So really we have to address the Crab, the 2 Beetles, and the Firefly leader. I have to do something. And with all of our upgrades and all of the options available to us, we've got lots of different things we could possibly do. When you have the deployable tanks, and especially if you have a pilot with conservative, it behooves you to try and deploy them as early as possible, because that means you'll have that many more turns with the action advantage of being able to use said tanks. It's not always an option, depending on the necessity of, what you have to do on the first turn. But I think because the Electric Whip is probably not going to be solving very many problems just now, deploying a pull tank is the right decision. And since we know the Firefly leader is going very early on the initiative order, my plan is to try and block the Firefly leader's shots. And if we do it correctly, we can have the Firefly leader's attack foiled and have it maybe start killing its own friends with friendly fire. There we go. I'm starting to see a solution emerge. We use the hook to pull the Crab, which cancels its attack. So that's basically a 3-for-1 solve on that action. And then that's going to prevent all of the Firefly leader's attacks, and then, using the Boulder mech, I can inflict some chip damage, and then the Firefly leader will do just enough damage to kill the Beetle and prevent the Beetle's attack from damaging the grid. So we had just had to give up 2 grid health. Not too shabby, all things considered. And it puts us in a pretty good position for the next turn. And then for the first time in this series, we luck out with the dice roll. Our 18% grid defense saves us losing 2 grid health. We will take that. There are some people that don't even consider, a perfect run, a 40k run, to be legitimate unless they take no grid damage at all. I call those people better than me at this game. So this turn, we are at a 3v4 action advantage because of our tank. And if we can, we'd like to deploy the second tank, which will give us 5 friendly actions a turn. Our cup will runneth over. We're able to pull the Scarab Leader, foil its attack, and guarantee its demise as the volcano erupts. And now I'm considering my other options. I can shield the grid with Kaz. I'm thinking about pulling the Firefly Leader into another instant death tile with the rebounding volley from the Boulder Mech. And then Morgan can block a spawn and deploy a second tank. So we've got, at this point, the grid is completely defended. And now it's just a matter of how can we optimize our remaining 2 actions. I think I go for shielding the grid. Always wise. And then we can clean up all of the leader Vec. So then the next turn will be a 4v5. So it's our penultimate turn. Got a burning beetle, a firefly, a crab, and a blobber. The pull mechs are nice in that they can do damage, similar to how we saw the defense mech in the Zenith Guard. It can pull something into itself, which does 1 bounce damage, or bump damage. So we can have that pull tank just solve that blobber bomb for us. The beetle will now charge into the lava, solving that problem. And we haven't even used our actual mech actions yet. Getting some damage on the board with Morgan. Unfortunately, doesn't really set him up for his boosted passive. But that's okay. And this way we can block a spawn and thin the enemy numbers. Poor Jill has just been on fire the whole time. We'll probably have to address that. But on our final turn, we are looking at a 2v5, so we will have plenty of spare time to do whatever we want. Of course, it is the Scion Tyrant, so you need to address that problem. That is simple enough to accomplish. So we took no grid damage, and we are in good shape to begin the second half of the island. The only downside is we will have to redeploy our little tank minions. It looks like our Op4 is a leader Hornet, a leader Beetle, and then another Hornet, a Beetle, a Scarab, and a Digger. could be trouble. We are fortunate in that the Hornet leader is baited into attacking our mechs. But we otherwise have 4 threats to the grid. Or no, 1, 2... 5 threats to the grid. I can count. 5 threats to the grid and 3 mech actions. Can we do it? Jill with Opener can kill the Digger and the Alpha Hornet with the Rebounding Volley, which I think by this point, if you've watched the entire series, you know just how valuable that weapon is. Definitely worth the 1 power core cost to equip it. I think that is just the optimal move for the Boulder Mech. I did not see any other 2-for-1 actions available. I'm just considering best position. Nice. That leaves the Hook Mech and the Lightning Mech. If possible, we would like to deploy our little tank friend. But really, what it means is we still got 3 threats to the grid, and with only 2 mechs left to take actions, I think my chances of solving all 3 problems are slim. But if we can get somebody on top of the Vex spawn point, it will be destroyed by the tentacles on the next turn. So what I elect to do is give up the grid health to the Beetle leader. This way we can at least get that other beetle destroyed by the falling rocks. And we still have grid health to spare. The tentacles will only attack the actual mechs. They will not target your other deployable friendly units. And it's again very nice in that we had 3 friendlies lined up, which was just too tempting for the Hornet leader to resist. So this turn is kind of a nice little gimme. We only have a threat to the Renfield bomb. We can get 2 spawn blocks, deploy our last tank. The Beetle leader will block a spawn for us. So, assuming we get no other Vec killed this turn, the next turn will be a very comfortable 3v5. Decide to kill the Scarab with the Bull Tank. And that just leaves Kaz free to do whatever they want. I think reapplying shields to the grid is never out of style. So the next round is actually a 2v5. Granted, they're both leader Vec. And Morgan is now looking a little bit spicy there. We're going to have to get Morgan off spawn blocking duty. And then we've only got, really this turn, 1 threat to the Renfield bomb. And no other legitimate threats. just do spawn blocking. I think that's just to really secure my action advantage for the final turn. Yep. The final turn will be a 3v5. 2 decently injured Leader Vec and a Crab. So we've got 1 threat to the Renfield bomb, no other threats to the grid. So as long as we can get that bomb taken care of, it will be GG. I think we can give Morgan a final zap. Good job. Why not just pull the Hornet Leader to its imminent tentacle demise? And then I think we can just do a nice clean board clear. And finish this run by squashing a bug with a giant rock. That's GG. Thank you for joining me on the journey with the Blitzkrieg. I hope you learned some useful strategy, tips, or tricks with this tricky, electrical, yellow-colored squad. Next up, if memory serves, is the Steel Judoka. Often maligned by players of this game, but it's one of my personal favorite squads. So I will be looking forward to sharing that one with you in the future. Do like, do subscribe. I've got some polls up on the community tab, and I'm going to be cooking up some other nonsense here in the future. So that's a solid GG with the Blitzkrieg. And since I've been doing this with just Ralph all the time, this is kind of a pointless decision. But why not take our Mantis friend? Peace out, everybody.